Ruby Frank. I made a video on her in the past. She's pretty much known for being a family vlog channel. And this is like past the point of where people like say, oh, this is YouTube drama or something. This is something that is actually a crime and has, you know, blown up and become a very big spectacle. Yeah, a very big spectacle. That's the word. So she's a, you know, family vlog channel, and pretty much she abused the shit out of her kids. She's Mormon as well. That's a fun fact about her. And she's just like crazy, I guess is really the best way to put it. I want to reiterate that. I mean, I don't know if she beat the shit out of her kids. She was a bad mother though. Let's just say that. And apparently at one point, from what I gathered, she had some of her kids tied up and then they broke free. And I did a whole video on my main channel about it, and it was very disturbing and sad. And she pretty much got locked up after that video, and it became something that was all over the news. And recently she had like her trial, I think, and I think she's actually going to jail is the update. All right, we'll watch this video. I haven't really watched anything on this.
We now know the details of what Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrand had been doing to Ruby's two youngest children. Trigger warning right now, guys, because this is way worse than I thought.
Trigger warning.
As you know, Ruby Franke was in court today. She pled guilty to 4 out of the 6 child abuse charges, and she has agreed to testify against Jodi Hildebrand. From her statement released by her lawyer this week, it sounds like she is putting a lot of the blame on Jodi Hildebrand.
All right, I'm just gonna say it. We're all thinking it. I really like this. I like this Grinch little Christmas pajama thing. I feel like that's really brave of me to bring up in such a serious situation. So let's just give it up for me on that one.
Ruby did have family members in attendance today. She had her brother Bo, her sister Julie, and her parents were also there. It appears they have returned home. They did appear to arrive together, and when Ruby entered the courtroom, she did turn.
Damn, bro, this guy's got like a bigger forehead than me. I have a massive forehead. That's why, like, if I had my hair cut like that, it would probably be very similar. So I'm glad he's kind of proving to me why I don't have my hair cut like that. So thank you, dude.
Look at them and smiled. If you haven't seen the courtroom footage yet, it is.
I want to see this more. Sorry, I'm missing shit because I'm talking about people's foreheads.
They did appear to arrive together, and when Ruby entered the courtroom, she did turn and look at them and smiled. If you haven't seen the courtroom footage yet, it is in my previous post. I'm going to now read to you exactly what Ruby has admitted to, the things that she has done to her 2 youngest children, her 10-year-old daughter and her 12-year-old son.
Yikes.
She's admitted to 4 counts out of the 6 of child abuse, and it appears to have started May 22nd, 2023. I am going to read some of this just to make sure that I get all the facts straight. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's been going on probably way before this year. I would assume it's been going on for the whole time.
One of the first things I noticed in this document was that it does appear that Ruby Franke is taking responsibility for doing some of this to her children.
She has to.
It's worded like
her hands
this.
are tied.
Ruby intentionally or knowingly inflicted and allowed another adult to inflict serious physical injuries upon her 9 and 11-year-old
Jodi
children.
then.
So it does say that she inflicted this as well. The first count of child abuse has to do with physical torture of her 12-year-old son. It says that initially she was forcing him to do physical labor for hours and days at a time. And the examples listed were doing wall sits, which is when you put your back up against a wall and squat down. It's absolute torture for anyone that has tried to do this. The other is carrying boxes of heavy books up and down stairs repeatedly.
Weird.
And the third example was the fact that he was being forced to work outside and do labor outside in the crazy Utah heat. As you know, in Utah, temperatures can get up to over 100 degrees. This is one of the things that Jodi Hildebrand's neighbor had actually told the police about, was that she would look outside and she would see the children outside in crazy hot temperatures doing gardening. It also listed that he was made to do all of this barefoot, and that he was also forced to stand outside in direct sunlight for hours and even days at a time. He was also forced to stay outside at all hours of the day and night for extended periods of time. This, of course, resulted in, as you can imagine, extremely serious sunburns.
What a horrible, horrible mother. Jesus. That's like completely so far abusive. It's insane.
Resulted in blisters and repeated slothing of the skin. So his skin was literally peeling.
It's kind of crazy because I feel like, even though like obviously to a clear-minded person, this is obviously completely abuse, but I feel like she didn't see it at the time as abuse almost. Like, and I'm not, that's not me justifying it or anything, but I feel like she was so brainwashed by herself that she's like, this is like how I raise my kids, you know, this is me being a good mom and trying to be on it or whatever, you know what I mean? Which is like insane. I'm just assuming though, but that's just exactly what I because I've seen some of her videos, and the way that I've, you know, taken what she never seemed like she came and like thought about herself as an abusive mother, but now that like, you know, the whole courtroom and all these people are saying it and like it's so out there, it seems to be like now she'll actually admit to it, and maybe she kind of has to, of course, but hopefully she can actually see that she was abusive this whole time.
He was denied food and water while he was doing this, and he would actually be punished if he was caught drinking water while he was
Narcissism. Oh yeah, she was definitely narcissism.
If they did feed him, he was given extremely bland, boring foods like a piece of chicken and some rice, while the rest of the family had a normal meal. He was being isolated from everyone in his life, and he was also refused any form of entertainment, which of course included electronics,
No
but it
Fortnite?
also included books and any kind of paper.
Well, no, that's not true. They can have books as long as they took the books and walked up the stairs and then walked down the stairs while having them on their head. So they had books, they just couldn't read them. All right, I think I'm making too many jokes about the serious situation. I'm sorry. Read the room, Johnny.
It also says that he apparently tried to run away previously. It was in July, and it looks like once they got him back, that is when they started restraining him. They initially tied up his wrists and his ankles, and they would tie him to weights or to Ruby as well.
What the fuck?
They also would get him to lay on his belly, and they would put his hands behind his back, handcuff his wrists, handcuff his ankles, and then tie the handcuffs together.
Jesus.
This apparently caused excessive damage to his tissue and his muscles, and once he had open wounds,
crazy, bro.
they would put some sort of homeopathic remedy on it, put
Yikes.
duct tape over the wounds, and then put the handcuffs over the duct tape. The document also listed three specific...
I'm gonna say it. Like a lot of situations, it's like, we gotta cancel this person. We gotta cancel this person. I think this might be a situation where genuinely somebody actually might deserve to be canceled. And maybe that's because, you know, maybe this is like the ultimate form of it because she's actually, you know, going to prison. But, you know, I feel like that maybe she deserves to be canceled. Maybe she deserves to lose custody of her children even. I know. Crazy.
Also listed three specific incidences that Ruby Franke has admitted to. Number one was that she was kicking him while wearing boots. Number two, she said she held his head underwater. And number three, she said she would cut off his oxygen with her hand over his mouth.
What the fuck? What?
Count number two
Holy
was for the
shit.
severe...
Dude, I almost like, no, I like, what was her like, because her personality on her videos was like so bubbly-ish and like happy family. It just makes me wonder like what this side of her like looks like. I know that's like kind of fucked because like I obviously wouldn't actually want to see that, but like in a sense it's just like, how's that like the same person?
It stated that Ruby and Jody sought to indoctrinate him. They were trying to convince him that he was evil and possessed. It went on to say that he had to be willing to be obedient to avoid punishments, that his punishments were necessary for him to repent, and that they were doing all of this out of love.
That's crazy
two counts
people
are
shit.
for what she has done to her 10-year-old daughter. The first count is for severe emotional harm, and it does look like she endured exactly what her brother had endured, other than apparently the binding and also the three specific incidences that I had mentioned. She had been isolated the same way. She had been forced to do physical tasks and remain outside for extended periods of time. She was also denied food and water and told that she was evil and possessed.
Jeez.
And the final count 4,
Emotional,
was that
physical,
these actions caused 2 or more physical injuries to her daughter. It says that she was forced to work outside in heat, barefoot as well. And she was also forced to run on dirt roads, apparently barefoot. So she had extensive injuries to her feet repeatedly. They said that when they found her, she was extremely sunburnt. She had blisters and her skin was peeling off as well.
What the fuck?
Ruby Franke is going to be sentenced on February 20th. We don't know right now what that is going to look like, but I will definitely be updating on this case. So make sure to hit follow.
I'll say it. I think she might be fucked. She might be in a little bit of trouble. No, that's horrible. Like, genuinely, obviously, this is completely disgusting and, like, insane. Like, there's really not even words that can put into, like, how bad and horrible these situations that their kids had to go through. And not only that, but now they're losing their mother, which I know, like, obviously their mother was a piece of shit. Then she accused her kids of SA. Yeah, I heard about that as well. I don't know if I genuinely believe her on that. If that sounds like her, why would I believe this person at this point when she's done all this horrible thing? It sounds like she was just trying to take the, you know, heat off herself almost. But this person like said they had another video on this. I'm kind of curious.
Ruby Franke's mother mouthed the words "I love you" to her as she was leaving the courtroom this afternoon. I'm now going to play the video of her family's reaction when she turned to say goodbye to them, leaving the courtroom. You can see Julie give her a big smile and her mother mouth the words, "I love you."
Yeah, I mean, she's horrible. I'm not gonna like totally be upset with her family for like sending her love still, like in a sense. Like, I mean, obviously, like they should, I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't know how to say it, but why is her family okay with this? I don't know if they are. You know what I mean? I would hope not. I don't think that's necessarily what that means. Just because like they're like trying to be the only people that are, somewhat there for her. I don't think that necessarily means that they're okay with what the piece of shit things that she's done. You know what I mean? There is the possibility that they're also just as crazy and that it was like a passed on family tradition to be a piece of shit parent like this. There is that possibility.
Ms. Frankie, how do you plead to count 1, aggravated child abuse, a second-degree felony?
Guilty.
Oh.
To count 3, aggravated child abuse, a second-degree felony?
Guilty.
To count 5, aggravated child abuse, a second-degree felony?
Guilty.
And to count 6, aggravated child abuse, a second-degree felony?
With my deepest regret and sorrow for my family and my children, guilty.
The court finds that the factual basis is sufficient. All of the terms of the agreement are stipulated, including that the court obtain a pre-sentence investigation report, correct?
Correct.
Do you think she regrets it? I mean, she definitely regrets getting caught. She only regrets it because she got caught. Yeah, most likely. That's how a lot of people work, From what I'm gathering, she's just mentally so fucked in the head that I don't think she actually feels remorse. Like a lot of people, they can feel remorse on things, but I think this is a case where she's probably very too far gone in the mind and just genuinely obviously doesn't want to, go to prison and all that stuff or be on, lose all of her shit. But she definitely is too far gone, I feel like.
Be any argument about whether prison is the appropriate sentence, and there's an agreement about the 4 counts running consecutive?
That is correct.
All right. The
Crazy.
court finds then that Ms. Frankie's pleas are made knowingly and voluntarily. The court therefore accepts and enters those pleas. Counsel, what about sentencing on February 20th? I think, do you and your client agree to waive time, counsel?
We do agree to waive time.
I don't know what these words mean. I saw there's a comment right here that says, "It just gets me so mad. She knows what she did and she just stands there." Well, what is she, I mean, I'm not trying to defend her. I just don't know. She kind of has to stand there. I don't know where she's supposed to go. I'm pretty sure she has to stand there. No, I'm just saying she stands there and acts like nothing happens. I mean, this isn't me defending her at all, but I'm pretty sure she definitely is acknowledging it. She kind of has to acknowledge it. She says, for, my deepest regrets to my children and my family and all that shit. So she definitely acknowledges it. Not trying to back her up. I just think that's kind of a funny comment. Why is she standing there? But yeah, no, I mean, she's obviously a horrible human being that needs to be punished for this. I mean, obviously she deserves to be held accountable for this and everything. And I don't know, I hope somebody good, takes custody of them and takes care of them, because obviously they've not had a good childhood or a good life probably for a very long time, or all of their life, quite honestly. So I feel for them on that.
Your lipstick is colored, don't bother, angel. I know exactly what goes on.